guys? It's Mr. Make It Happen, and you're tuned in to the Burnt Hands Perspective podcast.
All right, shoot days, always fun.
Always a good time.
Always fun, and the best part about it is that no matter what the hell we got going on, no one realizes how much it takes to get here. So it's like we just look cool on the screen right now.
Yeah.
I'm not cool right now. I'm fucking no.
It's bright and early too, so
it's
thank
early.
you guys
Yeah,
for
it's bright and early.
early.
It's good.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is the shoot days always make it better.
Yeah.
They do.
No matter what happens, especially when we have great guests like him,
Because we make it happen.
because we make it happen. That's hence the
pun
name.
intended.
But
No pun intended.
Sorry, that was cheesy.
Well, it's good though. That's what we need. We need some cheese, Parmesan Reggiano, whatever it takes. So, you've been on with us, Matt, since the beginning. Actually, this is like your third time on. So it's good to always bring you back because you're like us. You're always into something. You're always moving, shaking and baking. You always got something cracking, which is good because I'm the same way. Kristen's definitely the same way, and we're always trying to reinvent what we can do next. I don't know if reinvent's the right word. What do you think?
Grow, expand, which you've done.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, that's why we brought you back today, because we wanted to see, because it's like this, you've had this trajectory of turning, social media, YouTube stardom into an actual brick and mortar. And we talked about it on the last episode where Chef was giving you some advice on opening and building the restaurant out. Now it's all happened, and it's here.
It's open, for sure.
So what are you thinking, man? Let's go. Let's talk about this because what the listeners need to know here, I think, some of the people tuning in, they all know who you are. Like Kristen just said, you're kind of a phenomenon when it comes to social media. Everybody knows who you are. You do a great job. But now here you are in brick and mortar where you have to prove yourself and your team and your capabilities. And now it's a whole different thing because the camera doesn't shut off.
For sure.
Right?
There's no retakes.
Right.
No.
Exactly. The likes walk through the door or they do not.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So go ahead, tell what's your experience, man, and I want to chop this up a little bit because it's important for people to know. I'm always the chef who started with no social media, didn't exist, and then I've tried to work myself into social media, not so successful, right? When it comes compared to someone like you. However, flip the thing around, and I'm a chef who's luckily very successful in brick and mortar and with actual people.
Yep.
And it's hard. So flipping it around on your end is you're now a social media guy flipping over to the restaurant.
Right.
So go ahead. Let's hear
Yeah, I mean, I'm just learning a lot every day. I mean, there's something new every day. I think you said one of the key words a minute ago, team. I think that's the more difficult part, in my opinion, is assembling the right team, having people that care. Nobody's going to care as much as you, but care enough that they can stay on the team. Care about the guest experience, care about the little things, not walking over trash that's on the floor, cleaning up, just doing the small things that, I kind of lose sleep over. The food side of things, I don't want to say it's been easy, but in relation to everything else, that's been like the least of my worries. My worries have been more on the service side, things breaking down. We're in an old historic building in DC. So constantly having to repair things, replace things, just every day something new, whether it's a dishwasher, a leak, a walk-in, whatever you name it, whatever could break has broken.
It will break.
Yeah.
And even if you think you fixed it just now, all you did was bought yourself time.
Right.
Because that's just the way it is. This equipment, everything we use is nonstop. It doesn't stop. Your refrigerators never take a break. Your freezers never stop. The ovens, ranges, gas lines, they never stop. Everything's consistently moving parts at all times.
And people got to take care of the stuff.
Yeah, well,
And
that's the other problem.
Not
That's the
jam
thing
shit
that,
into
like I
it.
said, the team part of it is like, just use a little common sense. Let's, treat it like it's yours.
Yeah, well, and a lot of them
It's
don't.
really-
So at this point, how long have you been open? Like the
We
doors
opened.
open?
We had a soft opening in the middle of February. We officially opened probably the end of February, going into
Okay.
March. So from March till now,
Yeah.
going on about 4 months. But yeah, I mean, luckily we've been busy. I mean, the business has been really good, especially for a brand new restaurant. And in a very competitive market like DC, there's tons of great options to eat in DC, in a very, walkable city. Per capita, there's probably more great restaurants there than, outside of like New York and some of the,
There are a lot,
cities,
and there's a lot of you have everything from Michelin stars all the way down to food trucks that are phenomenal.
Yep.
So the options are endless. But the good part about it though is, and I'm always a big fan of this. People say, well, what if another Italian open restaurant down? I'm opening up a deli now. 3 doors down, there's another deli opening now. All of a sudden,
Sucks for them.
well, that's what I say. But not only that, if you're good at what you do, your product's good, your knowledge is good, you have a reputation, and you're putting out a product. If there's 3 or 4 more delis, that's just 3 or 4 more reasons for more people to come downtown.
Sure.
So if as long as you're putting out that product and you put out a good product, so that's what you have to do is keep the product right. and people are going to come because out of all those people, especially in DC, right? When you have a city with all these numbers and all these people, you have more options because it's just there's plenty to go around. Here I am in Chesapeake. There's only so many options because we have a per capita, right? So you can only have so many great restaurants for all the people that go to this type of restaurant in this community to go to. So you have to be the best here because you have to be the first choice.
Sure.
Over there you can dabble, right?
Yeah.
And as long as your product is going good, you're gonna win that. You know?
Yeah. And consistency is something that we're really focused on, particularly with the food. I think we've gotten to a better place there. But just, you know, I'm still trying to get the service where I want it to be. And it's just, you got to, like you said, the same thing with customer options of where they can go, worker options of where they can work. There's a lot of places in DC you can go make good money as a server or a bartender. So it's just trying to, you know,
why do you want to come
acquire the talent and then keep the talent. You know, we'll have a great, I think our line cooks are phenomenal, but some of these guys will sell you out for 50 cents more per dollar.
Quickly.
I mean, per hour.
My analogy to that is this. I can give one of my employees a brand new car, and they would leave me the second someone gave them a place to work to park it for free. If someone gave them a free parking spot, they would leave here with their brand new car and go park it for free.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying? And that's, some of them are like that. Then again, you have some that are loyal as shit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But the loyal ones are going to help you succeed, and that's going to help you grow, and they're going to be, everything's going to work well. It's not as detrimental as the ones that are shitty, though.
Yeah.
When someone's shitty in a kitchen or on a line, it's way more immediately known than someone who's loyal and cool.
Yeah,
their presence is known because you can rely on them. Got it. That works well. But if you have someone who's toxic in the kitchen or lazy or something, that is felt instantly.
You got to get rid of them. One of the best pieces of advice I heard from somebody was like, as soon as you see a red flag, clip them.
Clip it.
Like, don't give them a second chance. Don't.
And it's easy to say that sitting here right now, but it's hard to do because that red flag is also something you need to do to continue. Yeah. So sometimes getting rid of a red flag just like this is typically someone's advice that doesn't have to deal with the aftermath.
Yeah.
So usually a restaurant owner will be, I'm a chef owner, so I'm in the kitchen nonstop, and I'm also on the floor watching everything because I want my food to come out a proper way, all that and so on. So if you get rid of a red flag sometimes, and you're in the kitchen working with that red flag, getting rid of that red flag may not be convenient because now who's going to do the work? Sometimes it's dealing with that red flag is necessary.
All right, we got a busy weekend this weekend. Like,
what are you going to do? You just kick the guy out. Right, who's going to work the grill? You? How are you going to go out and take care of everything else? I mean, yes, I will. I always will if I have to. Sure. But not having to is the key, right? But it is definitely get rid of the red flag as soon as possible.
There you
ASAP that ass.
When it's
you know what I mean? ASAP
because
that ass.
I mean, once somebody shows you who they are, almost always that's a representation of what they're going to be. Like,
they're going to be that way, and
they're not
going to
change.
They're only going to get worse.
For sure.
Because once comfort sits in.
And now they know they can get over on you, or they can sneak this
Even the
behind
best employees get comfortable. They have their little tricks, their little things. They come in, they know when to sneak out, and that's okay. But when someone who's a shithead gets comfortable,
then it's a problem.
We just had to let a guy go on Sunday, this past Sunday. I forgot to send you the picture. One of my guys got a storage.
I love the pictures.
Now we need the picture.
Now
we got a storage in the back for like extra refrigeration and whatnot.
Yep.
So one of my chefs is going back to grab something to bring back for service. He sees some, dress shoes just sticking out from behind a trash can. The guy's drunk, middle of the day.
Dress shoes.
One of our bus boys, drunk, laid out sleep on the ground.
Like
middle on the clock.
Like the Wizard of Oz. The shoes are hanging out.
On the clock.
Witch.
He sends me a picture. He's on the clock, in the back, drunk.
Did you take his shoes off and his feet curled up?
No, but I clocked him out immediately.
Should have stole his
Clocked
shoes.
him out immediately.
I'd have stole his shoes.
Dude, one time I had a kid put an iron directly on my brand new Banquette leather one, brown one in the back. Hot iron on there. You know what his excuse was? I didn't think it was still hot. You're fucking ironing, literally, right now. Skylar, remember this kid?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think
Skylar's back there. She's kind of cracking up a little bit. She knows what time it is.
I'm trying to remember when the worst one bartending was when you went back and we used to, have like drinks that all had whipped cream on them and just like cheesy drinks at the oceanfront, frozen drinks. and all the whipped cream, you'd keep grabbing cans and none of them worked. And these fuckers are back there just doing whippets all
Fucking
day
whippet.
from the
Oh,
kitchen
yeah.
staff, just
Sounds
sitting
about
there.
right.
And so you've got literally 36 bottles of whipped cream you can't use. So you just ate all that cost, and they're just high for 10 seconds and then going back out
10,
there.
maybe 5, right?
Not even
Every
that.
day
Like,
something
it was
new.
so dumb. I'm
It's
like,
every
guys,
single
come
day
on,
there's
man.
something new.
Like, we know it's you. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way we're not going to know.
Whipped
It's not
cream on
us.
their
Yeah, you
cheek.
got.
It wasn't me.
Come on.
Like I got a thing like when people are like, oh, we're having this is a good shift. I'm like, shh. Like,
Yeah,
jinx it.
exactly.
Not even 9 o'clock yet. Like let's.
Well,
So
the
that's
good
going
news is-
good then, like the shift part. But we had like you have to talk about the opening process too, because this
Yeah.
was your like first experience opening a building out a building.
Yeah. It's been a grind, man. I mean, I've had to be there. Like I got an apartment in DC now, so I'm actively splitting time between here and DC. I think part of it is I just don't have enough people that can get the job done at the level that I would want it to get
Well,
done.
you won't
so I gotta
yet,
do
man.
it.
It's going to take you a year or two to
Yeah.
understand that. And here's another thing I'm going to tell you, and I can tell everybody out there listening. It's going to take you 2 to 3 years before it's not even going to be a thought in your head yet, because you're going to have a very hard time releasing it.
Yeah.
Whether there's someone there you can count on or not, that person's only going to make you feel better while you're there. It's going to take you a very long time. It took me almost 9 years before I could walk out of my place and open up another one, because I was so adamant about being there all the time.
Yeah.
And yes, no matter what, no disrespect to my team, I love them, they're amazing, but no matter what, the standard is going to drop a little bit because they're not you.
Yeah.
They want to get through the day. They want to make sure you're satisfied. They don't want to get yelled. They want to make sure everything's good. Don't get me wrong. They do have a passion about them, which is very clear.
Right.
However, it's still not you, right? So you have to understand that when you are ready to make the next move or take a day off, you have to give up some level of that expectation, or you're going to be chained to it, and that's okay.
That's a balance I'm trying to figure out. Right
It'll
now.
take time, yeah. And I don't know if you'll figure it out until the day you're ready.
Yeah.
A day will come where you're just ready to say, okay, I'll let that go.
Yeah.
That little piece of paper on the floor where you would just flip out over someone walking over, you'll just walk over nonchalantly and just pick it up. And you're gonna choose your battles differently.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many little things that happen that are never going to go the way you want it. If it does, dude, you're gonna move on to something else.
Yeah.
Because now it's gonna be boring, right?
For sure.
So, like Kristen said at the beginning here, when opening up, what recommendations do you have? Everyone's already seen you on the show. If not, go back and check them out. They can see them on your websites and Instagram. We'll plug that in a little while. But what do you recommend as far as what would you have done differently, man? Go right to the fucking dirt. What would you have done differently right away?
I would have taken my time making the important hires, like the cornerstone pieces, the GM, the executive chef, or whoever's going to be there when you're not there, kind of deal. Whatever you want to call them, CDC chef, sous chef, whoever that person is. If you're the executive chef, obviously, whoever's under you, whoever you trust the most in the building, take your time making those hires. I kind of pulled the trigger a little quick on a couple of those hires that I ended up regretting. Whatever your budget is, throw that shit away.
What's that?
Throw that shit away. Yeah, add it double.
Yeah, at least. And do your due diligence. Like have somebody, an expert, come in and like give you a full rundown. Like come in here and pick this place apart. Tell me everything that's wrong with it, instead of like going into it with, let's hope for the best and just do what we know.
A lot of
needs
people
to
want
be
to put a
fixed.
blind eye to the actual problems.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to get into a contract or a lease with some situation, and it just things kept piling and escalating. And what it was that piling up for me was money.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to help me. Yes, you're going to help me, but you're going to help me with shit I shouldn't need help with. You're going to help me with a portion of the money I have to spend.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to hear, because it's not ready.
Yeah.
And these are things I've learned growing, right? Just like you said. And when this place opened, when I built this place, I had a lot of great assistants, and we had the best. Matter of fact, we'll be interviewing one of my designers, or my designer Heather, who has this type of advice.
Yeah.
I call her now for everything.
Yeah.
Even if I'm having an idea or a thought thing, I'll pass it over to Kristen. We'll talk.
Someone to check you a little
Yeah,
bit. Like you
exactly.
kind of need some people to say no.
Right,
Like you
for
need the
sure.
people that have either been there or are willing to stand up to you as an owner, or anyone with notoriety and be like, no,
Yeah.
that's not. Have you ran the numbers on that? Have you
Correct.
actually ran pro forma for the
Right.
next 5 years?
That's exactly
you
right.
know
And then you
exactly what's going to happen. So,
Then you can say to them straight
yeah.
up, how much is this going? How is my vision If you find someone that works with you well, Heather and I work really good together. We have a really good vision together when it comes to what I want in a restaurant. She's really good at what she does. And I can look at Heather and say, hey, how much is this going to cost me?
Right.
And she'll tell me $1.5 million, at least $3 million with this right away, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, well, that was a good idea.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
that was a
Save that for
great
later.
idea. It might
But-
not be practical.
It might not be practical for that application. We
Yeah.
could take $3 million somewhere else, so on and so on and so on. Just like you said, if you're going to go into a building and you don't inspect the building to see what the problem is,
Yeah.
these are things that listeners need to know, especially my camera. All you chefs out there who are going to open your restaurant and go open up your little fucking pop-up, cool, man. I don't want to down you. Everyone has the right to go do this.
Yep.
Understand what it is you're doing. It's being a chef owner is way different than working for someone as a chef for a very long time. You're always underneath the cushion of that umbrella. You're always under the umbrella of someone else, and it seems easy. But when you go and open up your own place, you don't worry about the food. Don't even worry about your food, because your food can't do shit unless it gets to the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It can't get to the pan, or it can't get to this, that, and the other. It can't do shit, right? So you need to make sure that your food is the last thing you worry about, because you should be as confident in the chef and your food no matter what you're doing. So if you're so confident in your food, stop worrying about the food.
Yeah.
Everyone's always
it's
worried-
everything else.
Yeah,
Like,
every-
there's a lot of moving parts.
Oh, bro, every chef I know is so worried about them. Chef, you got to see this menu I'm working on. Da, 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 da. That's cool, dude, but what are you going to do about your restroom? How about the floors? How about this, that, and the other? Don't worry about the food.
All the
your
vendors
food should be...
having
Yeah.
people having clean towels, having like what
Right.
do you do when you get a fruit fly infestation? Like,
Exactly.
There's a million things that could happen
Exactly.
and go wrong.
And you're worried about your food.
And, yeah.
The food should be the lock-in. Your food should be so secure and your menu should be so fucking direct
Yeah.
that you're going to build an empire around it. You shouldn't even be worried about your food right now.
Yeah.
Your food is the least thing. You should be so confident in your food that you should go to bed at night not worrying about my food. My deli is opening soon. Haven't even considered a menu.
Yeah.
My sandwiches, my menu, my salads, all the accoutrements, everything I'm going to be doing. I'm not even worried about that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, put all my ingredients in the building, and then I'm going to make a menu in about an hour and a half.
That's experience.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing it for the first time, like you like kind of focus on what you think is the most important thing, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So like this is good advice, and people should definitely listen to it. That's something that I kind of I didn't know what I was getting myself into completely, and I'm good for just jumping in the pool. So that's kind of what ended up happening for me too.
Yeah.
Is just like I'm learning all of the P&L stuff, like how to make this thing profitable. Like I know how to make the food.
Well,
look
the numbers, I mean, and that's the part that we always say it. And I mean, we say it in marketing with our clients all the time. And, you know, being in the restaurants for so long, I had to deal with the liquor costs and things like that. But I didn't care as much about the big picture because I was, again, just an employee or a manager. I wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like I was
Yeah.
sitting there grinding numbers all night and wondering how everybody was going to get paid. So
Sure.
you're the only person doing that. And it is hard. I mean, you just have to actually treat it, like I say, and you are a brand. You've created a massive brand, but you are your brand. Your brand is your business. And if you don't treat it as a business, you're going to fail.
That would be my other piece of advice is to try to focus on having those systems in place so that when you open, you can plug everything into your spreadsheet and it'll spit out, you know, you're at 15% here, you're at 7% here, you're 3% over here. Next month you need to watch
Systems.
your labor, you got to do this, or even know what your labor should be or know what your projections are in all those spaces.
Labor is always going to be the issue, man. Employees and labor are always going to be the biggest issue in the restaurant business because you have to have them.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't have things bringing back. Your wait staff, they get paid the least by the hour. It's the best on your employee, as far as your payroll side, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the best. However, they bring the most from it. Yeah. So you're paying them the least, and they're bringing the most. However, a dishwasher, essential, very key. I pay mine very well.
Yeah.
But their position is a necessity, not a bring it. It doesn't
hard
bring
cost.
money in, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a hard cost. It's a
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah.
Period. No matter how you look at it, financially, it's a loss.
Yeah.
It's needed to be done, but there's no profit coming from their position whatsoever.
Right.
Bartenders, servers, bus people, kitchen support staff, their job is directly to the customer, at least adding money to the thing. So you got to go in the kitchen where some of the places prep, salads, things like that. They're not their portion is not outweighing their salary.
Right.
That makes sense.
And that's another the labor, particularly on the prep side, is something that I've been working with or talking to my team about. It's like, if you give a human 8 hours to do a thing, they're gonna take 8 hours to do that thing. Like, give them 6.
Yeah.
Like, don't, instead of coming in at 7 in the morning and leaving at 3, make them come in at 9, and I bet
Correct.
you they get the same exact amount of
Same
work.
amount of work. Mm-hmm.
Of course they will, because they're going to take advantage of everything.
Exactly.
The only problem is when you have someone coming in at 6 and it takes them fucking 7.
Yeah.
And it used to take them 9.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And they're still not doing it because they still learn how to snake and take naps
Yeah.
behind the dumpster with their new shoes on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Take a quick
new
nap.
New shoot goofing.
Well, so we've seen the restaurant online. I mean, it looks awesome. So I guess since we're going to have design coming up, how did you kind of have a vision for what you wanted visually? Did you have a designer come in? Who was your team that helped you with the build
Yeah, so we had Jimmy Drummond, who's very well known in the DC area.
Okay.
He's done a lot of, very, very
awesome.
well-known restaurants, big name. He did the initial design. Then we had another team come in and kind of finish the job in terms of like the actual labor and the construction.
So it's a dance between two partners, and that's you with your vision,
Yep.
and him with his idea of how he's going to bring it to life, while they're always going to add their twist.
For sure.
And sometimes though, with me and Heather, her twist always ends up cool.
Yeah.
It works out well
Yeah.
because it's another view I haven't seen, right? Or she has access to things that I haven't had access to or stuff. And it really just refines perfectly.
Yeah.
Now, I have worked with someone before that was not on the same page.
Right.
And that was a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I just sat down with this person and I said, hey, look, this is not going to work. Your vision is not my vision. We are on 2 totally different planets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're trying to decorate Mars and I'm on Uranus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Literally.
Literally. I'm on your ass all the time.
I'm on your ass. I'm all up in Uranus.
Yeah.
But-
So
But yeah, he did a good job. But we kind of had a couple of like well-known. There's a guy, Kelly Towers. He does the Wall Festival in DC. It's like a street art festival, biggest art festival in DC every year. So he came in and did a mural at the bar, and then that kind of got us doing a couple different art pieces throughout the restaurant that came together nicely. There's like 3 separate dining areas in the restaurant. They each have their own kind of vibe. Like,
cool.
you got the street art at the bar with the mural. When you first walk in, it's like the cherry blossoms in DC are a huge thing. So there's like a cherry blossom mural in the front, and then in the back it's more of like the date night kind of vibe.
sure. That's good. That's good
Yeah.
because you have your different perspectives and different places.
You
Different.
could eat there 3 times and feel like you were at a different
that's
spot.
cool.
That's
Yeah,
good
that's
perception.
cool. That's a
So
fun concept.
actually, Kristen and I are going to go up there, and we're gonna actually do something. We have to go.
Yeah,
We have to
You've
see
opened,
it.
dude.
We
We've been
have to
doing
see
this.
it.
We've been doing this for 2 years now.
Yeah.
You and I
Yeah.
talking. I've been watching your progression, and because I've been so busy right now, I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Yeah.
But we are getting so friggin' busy that I'm having to reconfigure how we're doing things in the kitchen and how we're taking our reservations because it is affecting the quality of service. Because there's so many people coming, and unfortunately, the type of people that are coming don't understand what we're doing, and they don't have the patience for what it is we're doing. And the more people that come, the more patience is required because we can't expedite. We don't have microwaves. I'm not going to dummy stuff down to make it happen.
No.
Yeah.
You know, so
Your food doesn't come out in 10, 15 minutes.
it doesn't come out. So right.
no.
So people have to understand when it is busier, so are we.
Your food's going to
know what I
take
mean?
45
Right.
minutes.
Still
Like,
takes me the same amount of
yeah.
time. You got it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To comfy something doesn't change the time frame.
Nope.
To take something out of the sous vide and let it set and then sear it is the same time. But now I only have 7 of them to do instead of 2. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
stop. You know.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that when you have like bad reviews or people come in and say?
Oh, you have some.
We have some bad reviews lately. I'm not going to lie. We always have really good reviews.
I think everybody has at least.
Of course,
one, you know?
you're not doing good if you're not causing hell, right?
Yeah.
You got to raise hell. So if you have bad reviews, you have to instantly go through them, look at all of them, read the ones that make sense, fuck the ones that don't.
Right.
Okay? Because you can't get crazy over everything.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So what I do is we take them, my manager meetings every Thursday, we'll go through the reviews and we'll put them in categories and we'll go by kind of like averages. On the average, they're talking about this,
Right.
right? It seems like there's
Consistent
4,
problem.
right, there's 4 reviews coming in the last week, bad ones, which is not heard of. It doesn't happen like that. But when they do, we're all down. We are all down, and we're instantly going into the situation room, right? So once we sit there, we go over it every Thursday, and we're going to sit there and, on the average, look at what's going on. All right, obviously there's a problem with people taking too long to get this. Let's attack it. Why, right? Yeah. And then we'll friggin' do the FBI board on the wall when they're trying to find a serial killer, right?
Tracking them.
Tracking everything, reason why. You go through the numbers, what time they got in, look at their reservations. People don't realize that when they put a bad review, they're getting interrogated.
Yeah.
Because we got to find out who they are, what level of food they're at, what type of atmosphere they are, so we can really gauge what we're doing and what we're going with.
FBI level
Yeah,
research
whatever
on
you want
them.
to call it, right? Food, beverage, investigation, right? So,
FBI.
so what we're doing is we're just trying to make sure of that, right? So you have to analyze why they're talking, what it is, and then nip it in the bud what it is. Typically, when it comes to us, what it comes down to is overload too fast in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Too many reservations at the wrong time. The Resi system that we use, shout out Resi, that'll be some sponsorship money, please. Thank you. Just get up with our assistant. Anyhow, we have to take our time now and we cap it. We have to rearrange the dining room right now. We're going to talk about it this Thursday. This is a hot topic, right?
Yeah.
So if you ignore all the reviews, because some of them are legitimate.
For sure.
I'll read a couple today that actually were legitimate. I have one that's legitimate because we can't always bastardize the reviews.
No,
but it's fun as hell when someone's a knucklehead.
Well, you can tell, and one's like an anomaly, but then when it's consistent, more than two or three, you know there's an issue.
Tell who knows what they're talking about,
Yeah.
and when one is valid, then it's like that one kind of hits home. When it's just somebody that's
Sure. And here's Matt. This is what I'm going to tell you and everybody else too. When it comes to reviews, when it comes to perfection, that piece of paper you talked to on the floor before earlier, you said something about a piece of paper on the floor that they walk by.
Yeah.
Right? That is a perfect example, right? Because it all happens at the front door. Right there at the front door. As soon as they walk through your front door and something goes wrong right there, you've already changed the tide of the day. You've already changed it, right?
Yep.
You've already created some sort of fixing mode. Now you have to fix it if something went wrong. A snarky attitude from the hostess. Their reservation got jammed up. Or you're kind of telling them they don't have a reservation, they did, and how you present it. All the things when they walk in, there's no place to sit. No one grabbed their jacket. Or they sat there for 15 minutes and no one even came over to them and gave them a drink. Anything that could go wrong at the beginning is going to escalate.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants a story. In every review, even if it was, we sat 10 minutes before we got served, okay? Well, if that wasn't properly addressed, now couldn't stop staring. While I sat there for 10 minutes, they're reviewing.
Yeah.
No, I sat there for 10 minutes, and I was staring at a piece of toilet paper that must have been on someone's shoe at the bathroom, and no one picked that up. By the time the waiter finally got to us, I realized that my fork had stains on it because I was sitting there staring. This is how bad reviews happen.
Yeah.
And the food got there, and finally the food got there. The food was okay. It was decent. We'd probably come back for the food, but we more than likely won't because of everything else. That means the food was fucking excellent, and they had to goddamn create a story to make their valid, right? They have to be valid, and they have to have a really good reason to bitch. So they're going to create just an avalanche of shit that they're going to pick out. There was chips on the wall. The weights, everyone's aloof. They're going to make things up.
It was
to
dusty. There was a dust bunny in the bathroom corner.
To back up there.
Had a guy mad because one of our light bulbs was out in the chandelier. It's been out since we opened because it was blown during the process of building. Problem is, it's a $30,000 chandelier, and fixing it right now is probably not good.
It's not the highest priority.
Well, we're gonna have to replace it. I got Heather coming. We're gonna replace the whole damn fixture. So. That's what needs to happen, but people don't understand that, and they would have never said a damn thing.
They would have noticed it at all if they were happy and in a good mood.
They wouldn't have cared.
I've had people come in and rave, like type up a raving review and then leave a 4-star instead of 5.
And they still do that too because they think you're not perfect.
They don't understand what they're doing when they do that, dude.
Right.
They're trying to save face for themselves, like nobody's perfect, or I'm such a good reviewer that I have to save the perfect.
Those people, I hate those people.
Yeah, you're not David Portnoy with a pizza slice, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's is that his name, David?
I think so.
David Portnoy.
Well, and it's fun because you're new and you're in like a highly competitive market, so they've already started judging you before they even made the reservation.
People can't wait to come in and try.
Yeah,
to
they want to see, like, if they're looking at your website, they're judging that.
Yeah.
They're judging walking up to the building. They're judging their first step in. Like they're starting to judge you before you. So if you're not having your shit together,
and that's what I try to articulate to the staff. It's like nobody's gonna be like, hey, Chef Mark fucked up today. He shit the bed. They're like, Matt can't cook. I knew that YouTube guy was
Bullshit.
But
Yeah,
you're not
right.
even there that night. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
he
it's
fucked up my whole
I
meal.
need you guys to pay attention. Like,
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing that goes on too sometimes, and people are used to seeing me. They're coming here, they see me in the news, they see me on the magazine, whatever it may be, and then when they come here for the first time, they're excited to see me, and it might be a night I'm off.
Yeah.
So because I wasn't here, everything was not the same.
Yep.
Not understanding that, I probably didn't cook it anyway if I was here.
Right.
I have a phenomenal team back there,
Yeah.
and they all cook amazing. I go through all of it with them. We train, we teach, we talk to each other, we taste each other's food, right? So I could be literally here, and someone will be happy because I'm here, not realizing I didn't cook your food. That same person
They'll
will come
think it
back, I
tastes
won't be
better.
here, and they'll think that it wasn't good because I wasn't here making it.
And it's impossible for you to cook everything.
Hell no,
You know what I mean? Like,
hell no, I can't.
if it's
Now,
130 guests in the dining room, I can't cook that many things.
No.
I can cook
Right.
a station, or maybe even two. I can touch 2 stations. I'm not going to be able to cook everything that you ate tonight. Like, people are like, did you cook this? I'm
I
like,
tell people all the time, bro,
kinda.
if you want me to cook for you, first, show up on a night I'm here, which is
Right.
pretty much every night. Secondly, on the weekends, we have chef specials.
Yeah.
I cook them.
Right.
Me, I'm the chef. It's my special. I cook the specials.
Yeah.
So, if you want me to cook for you,
Order
come on the
a chef
weekend
special.
and order the specials, and I am literally cooking for you now. You now have a personal chef.
Yeah.
Period.
But even then, the prep team probably did, something. They might have pickled the.
Of course they
You know
did.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
of course
it's
they did.
always.
You can't do it all.
There's
No.
no way I could have done every single thing that
Of
went
course.
onto that plate.
Of course. But, the final put together on the plate,
Right.
that's where you'll see me.
For sure.
If you see me cooking on the line, it's because I'm stepping in to help and stuff. But I'm a conductor at this point.
Yeah.
I don't cook every dish anymore. I don't want to cook anymore, period. I can't. I got
Yeah.
too many other things to worry about. I'm worried about cooking. I'm worried about why the wine room door is cracked open and we're losing the cooling system air out of there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going
Yeah.
on. But right now the team is solid, and you're going to find as you grow that you have new car syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Remember when you got a new car and you see a little piece of dust on the carpet, and you pick it up, get all pissed off, go run the thing through the wash, and
Yeah.
get your detailer over. Then in about 2 years, you'll see dirt on the floor and be like, fuck, I'm gonna get another car one day anyway, right? So I'm not saying you're gonna say, oh, fuck it, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's at the beginning, the first few years, man, every little thing is going to drive you bananas, right?
Yeah. It is. It
And it will, and you'll lose sleep at night. And your wife is gonna be like, dude, I didn't sign up for this. Yeah, neither did you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Neither did you, because you didn't know, right?
Yep.
And then you start, if you have that passion in you, bro, it's over with. It just gets worse.
Yeah. That would be the last piece of advice that I would give to answer the original question is, if you have partners, sit down with them and have very real, honest conversations about what I can expect you to contribute to this and what you're not willing to contribute to it. Because in the beginning, everybody's like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that, most of them aren't gonna do shit, or not half of what they say that they're gonna do. So it's like, let's just have a real, I'm okay with doing the work, that's fine. And if you're gonna write the checks, I'm cool with that too. Like, whatever the conversation may be or whatever the agreement that y'all have needs to be outlined very, very well, documented, and we all agree on it. Because that's something not necessarily just with this restaurant, but other business ventures
Sure.
I've had
No,
in the past.
definitely.
It's like I always run into like, all right, well, I end up like kind of putting it on my back because I don't want it to come
Right.
off a
We
certain
don't want
way.
to fail.
And to
Right.
piggyback off that, bro, I'm gonna go a step further. And my advice when it comes to partners is don't have any.
Yeah, that's pretty
Don't
good as
have any.
advice.
Seriously, because you're gonna make a big decision, right, when you make a partnership. But the other problem is this: you have to, if you do have one, now if you do, like you're saying, you have to understand and realize: is it a partner or is it investor? You have a
Yeah.
difference. So some people confuse the two ideologies. Some say, yeah, I'm a partner in that place. No, you're not. You're a financial investor.
Right.
And that needs to be said, like you said at the beginning. So you have to know your roles. Because if you're an investor, then step off and let me do my work.
thing, yeah.
You've invested, you did yours. Now let me make sure we can pay back this investment.
Right.
If you're an investor partner, you need to say that. Now, if you're a partner in sweat equity, you need to say that because now you
Exactly.
owe back that money because you weren't a financial investor. So you're absolutely right. You need to really streamline what it is each person's doing. And the same thing in your industry, your other industry with Reframe and
Yeah,
that
with
stuff.
marketing, it's the same thing.
Same
I mean,
thing, right?
I have a partner in my business, and we have a partner. Like we have actual roles dictated who does what,
That's
who's better at
important.
what, and solid. And now outside of that, also, kind of the moral compass and what you want in, again, like I keep saying, 5 to 10 years.
Right.
So we had, very clear expectations for years 1, 2, 3. Like, we're not taking money. You're not getting paid. I'm not getting paid.
That's
So
an important
you
conversation.
need to know what you're willing to sacrifice to get to the end result, whatever
Right.
that may be. If you're building to sell, if you're building to scale, if you're building to franchise, whatever. So I think it's a lot, but being very, very specific and getting everything in writing is like 2 of the things that people don't want to do when they're new to any business, and it will literally destroy your bank account and your friendships.
The things that you don't want to do are the things you should do first.
Yeah.
Like, do those immediately.
We call it the unsexy work.
And like you're responsible for learning everything. Like, you can't, your negligence or what you don't understand, you can't hold that against somebody else. Like, you're an adult. You're like, it's I put it on myself too. Like, there's a lot of things about the restaurant industry that I didn't know.
Didn't know.
Like, now I'm learning those things.
And the more you go, the more you're going to learn you don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm still learning, bro.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of things now that I'm learning that have nothing to do with what we would have thought. Now, the restaurant business, just get rid of the word restaurant and just call it business.
Business.
Because I knew the restaurant business, but now I'm learning business. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because the fucking financing, the bills, the
Oh, the
banks,
bill. Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter what business you're in.
Yeah.
It all comes down to how are you going to manage business.
Business.
For sure.
Business people you talk to, the when you what do we call it when we network, right?
Yeah.
You go networking.
You can go into business groups,
Sure.
BNI, EO. There's a lot
Perfect.
of business entrepreneur organizations that'll help you with other things. But
Exactly.
the place I worked for, they decided not to pay their taxes for almost 3 years. And
Bad
they
business.
came and literally chained the doors closed. Like, I mean, took a chain and put it around all of their doors, 3 restaurants in this area. And they decided they wanted to do more Coke and champagne than they did pay their taxes. And they had, suits and clothes and paid and didn't, live the high life because they thought that's what they were supposed to do as restaurant owners. They never worked in the restaurant. These were just the owners. And all of them, one of them's fucking extradited to another, like hiding in another country now. So, I mean, that was theirs. Like, oh, yeah, well, we have someone handling it. That's the other problem. If you have someone doing your bills and your books, you have to check on them. You have to have
Yes.
checks
Yeah.
in place
Yep. I'm
because they
doing
will
all of
rip
that
you
now.
off.
Yep.
Like, it's terrible.
And you have to have someone do it. You can't do it all. So if you sit there, it's good to do it all. It's
You need
good
to
do
learn
it.
I
how
want
to-
to do
you
it
need
now,
knowledge,
so
yeah.
at least I know it.
Exactly.
And I know
Yeah.
how to do it. And if
Right.
I have to do it, I can.
But you come from the financial background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a banking background, weren't you?
Well, I was in sales, so I worked for a bank, but I was a sales rep.
But you're still dealing with bank numbers on that
You knew
level.
the lingo.
You're dealing with percentages and reports
Right,
and
right,
answering
right.
to somebody of a higher cause, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what it's like from a business perspective,
sure.
hence getting rid of the word restaurant and using the word business.
Just the business.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's that's the biggest thing. Everyone not everyone, I say everyone a lot, but I don't mean it that way. But a lot of people who get into this, I want to go be a chef and open my own restaurant. They may understand a restaurant, but they never have no clue about business, man.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. You know?
That is. Yeah.
It's a lot more in depth. Like, when people say the restaurant industry is one of the toughest industries, it's not just bullshit. They're not blowing smoke up your ass to
No.
try to get you to not do it. Like,
It's hard.
It's hard.
You have
It's
to
hard.
love it.
And
It's
even
hard.
if you kill it, it's still, the margins are like very
Yeah.
small.
The margins are small, okay? If you own a concrete company, right, and you bid out a concrete job and you have your trucks, your skid steers, your fucking the connections, all your things are perfect, right?
Yeah.
You can have a shitty day and still make a fucking $30,000 job happen in a day and a half. And still, if it goes wrong or something like that, you still have a lot of profit to fluctuate.
Yeah.
In the restaurant, if you drop one fucking ribeye on the floor
Yeah.
with today's prices, you pretty much start losing profit off that whole thing.
Yeah.
So if you cut a fillet out, a tenderloin, and you get 8 portions good size out of that, right? Probably 5 of those portions are going to pay back the plates. You only have about 3 portions left for profit.
Yeah.
Now that profit's not much. We're talking $90 over the 3.
Yeah.
You drop one of them on the floor, now you're down to 2.
Yep.
Someone leaves 2 of them out, now you're to 3. Now you have fucking 4 of them that got screwed up somehow because they couldn't figure out the temperature right. Now you owe yourself money for having
Now you
filet
lost
on the
money.
menu that
That's
night.
a great way to put it.
It
yeah.
happens.
Yeah, it happens
Well, I think
a lot.
we do need to read the review, so we got to
Yeah, let's
read.
do it.
I know
I
you
got
have
some here.
them, so you're
Yep,
gonna.
let's do
So
it.
we're gonna do this with you next time, Matt. When you
Okay.
like, we'll do your reviews and
Oh,
just
please.
yeah,
I was
it'll
thinking
be
about doing this
hysterical.
too. It's a good idea.
Okay, so you want to pick one and read it?
Yep,
Okay,
I'm doing that right now.
Pick your favorite out of all of them, and then we'll go through and get you to respond, and then Matt, you can kind of pretend it was your restaurant and respond to what you
All right.
say online.
Okay, here we go. I'll just go with the first one. It is, this is a good one. It's one of them ones where it needs attention. The space is absolutely stunning, but the service was shockingly poor. We had a reservation, but we still waited 15 minutes to be seated while staff seemed confused and disorganized. Our server barely acknowledged us, forgot our appetizer, and never refilled our water once. At one point, we had to walk up to the bar just to ask for our check. The food was decent, but the experience was so frustrating, we left more annoyed than satisfied. Now, I can understand this totally. What I don't understand is how the hell this would happen here. Because there's so many points of...
You have a lot of points of service and contact from when they walk in the
right,
door.
The steps of service here are so vast. We have so many of them.
Did you determine what time and night or anything that doesn't
We
say
haven't done
anything?
that yet. So,
Okay.
disappointing anniversary dinner. That hurts my feelings. Because that really is something that this is one of them ones we're going to look at, and this goes into the situation room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
a decent, this is a very sought after review. Not sought after, that's the wrong thing.
So it was 2 stars.
I'm paying attention to it, you know?
Yeah.
That's one of the ones that, okay, there's some decent words here that seem like they might be an issue. So that's one of them. That's a good one. What would you say about that one?
Obviously, the service piece of it, like having them, it seems like if they would have simply had attention, they would have been fine.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
So sometimes there are flaws there.
Yeah.
Something could have been wrong. You're right. There's nothing.
Greeting them with happy anniversary, Mr. Jones.
It's
Immediately
a fact.
now I'm happy.
We have
Now-
cards on the table.
Yep.
Everyone knows the drill. We keep cards on the table just so you can literally see them, and the staff can see them, and every person in the staff walks by. We have a routine, right?
Yeah.
And having your water not filled is ridiculous to me because we have not the wait staff, we have servers assistants, we have other people. Water is a big
That
thing.
one surprises me that
Yeah.
that they missed that, which means that either it was super, super busy and the timing. Sometimes there's like that just terrible timing. Like you walk in between while everybody's busy
Yeah.
and there's going to be a few minutes, you know. I mean, I get that, but what if they also didn't say that it was their anniversary on the reservation? I mean, so you didn't get a card on your table,
Right.
probably because you didn't say it. So you have to look at what
There
is your
are
fault.
times where it's like you're getting held accountable for things that, you know,
Yeah.
it's not really.
But this is the point you brought up, Chef, was that they said the food was decent.
Yeah. The food was decent. They didn't want to say it was bad because it was probably absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
But they have to critique it. They can't put anything good in that thing because it just
And
takes away
nothing
from their...
tastes as good as it could if I'm already pissed off.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you gotta really blow me away if I'm pissed off and I'm waiting, I'm sitting here, and then the food
Of
comes,
course,
it's like,
right.
oh,
Nothing. You're never going to give
This
props
was so
there.
good. Fuck
Yeah.
everything else.
So
that
again,
happened.
that comes down to the team. Did you want to read another one? Do we have time for one more?
No, I think that's. But we're gonna next time we have to start doing yours
Please, I
and
would-
let
yeah,
him
I would
respond in a way
enjoy.
that you probably wouldn't, which will be really fun.
Because I'll
So,
respond fun.
I know.
I can't respond bad to that one because there's some legitimate things there's some things in there that need to be
Need
looked
attention.
at. They need
They need
attention. We need to look
attention.
at it, make sure that we're not
They need
slipping
attention.
there. Right.
So no, we'll do it again, but you have to shout like, yeah, tell everybody where the restaurant is. Like,
Yeah.
where can we go and check it out?
So the restaurant's name is Fresh. It's spelled Fraiche, the French spelling for fresh. It's on 14th Street, 3345 14th Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. in Columbia Heights. We're open every day except Monday.
Perfect. And we're going to. And what any other plugs you want to put out there for your socials?
MrMakeItHappen.com for all of my free recipes, for the blog, for my products, the spices, the chef knives, the skillets, all that good stuff. You can find me on YouTube, Mr. Make It Happen, pretty much on every platform.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
Well,
and we're
that's
going to make our way up there
we
soon.
are gonna make it.
Please.
We're
Actually,
going up
we're
there.
going to come up there and bring cameras. Not really do a review, but do a review.
Sure.
Like more like a chef's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
Of
fun.
what you got going on there.
We
Almost
can do
like
a little special bonus episode.
Right, that'll be
It'll
fun.
be fun.
So we need
Yeah.
to plan that for pretty soon. I think
Yeah.
that'll be
Let's do
something
it.
fun
All
to
right,
do.
we're
know
coming. We're coming
Sounds
to
good. I would
love
DC,
that.
man. We're coming in
Please,
hot.
it'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
And thank everybody for watching. Hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Give us some support, follow us, and love to have you. Love talking to you. Ciao for now.
Thank you.
Ciao.